Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of JourneyCast. My name is Levi, and this is my co-host.
I'm Alicia.
And today we have with us Tia Malcom.
Yep. Hi, Tia.
Hi, Tia. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Good.
Yep.
Tia's signature wave.
Yep.
And she'll keep waving until you wave back.
I was also told yesterday by Tyler that you have an excellent handshake and actually have more strength in your handshake than most of the boys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Practice.
I was surprised to hear that, and I was impressed.
Once I figured out what he wanted,
Yeah.
just got to go in.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. No, he's genuinely impressed by that. Yeah, very
Solid
strong.
handshake.
Yeah. It's like, do you ever get one of those? I mean, this is immediately off topic.
The
Do you ever
limp
get one of those,
handshake.
where it's like,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I had that with fist bumps before.
wow, really?
Like, go to do a fist bump?
Yeah, okay.
And it's just like,
Oh, no.
That's so disappointing.
yeah.
Oh, that's
That was
terrible.
Emma, and then she improved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, great improvement.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's what we learned about at youth group.
Yes.
How to have a solid handshake.
Yep.
Yes.
Or fist bump.
Also, if you see Logan, who's behind us, lunging at any of us, we found a mosquito in the room. And
Yeah.
so
Yep.
he's here to protect us
Gonna
as
try and
security
take care
today.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Tia,
Yes.
what grade are you in?
I'm in grade 11
How long have you been coming to youth group?
since grade 7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Committed.
Yep.
Do you kind of like it?
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat.
It's pretty neat.
It's pretty neat.
How neat is that?
All right. So, you have come to us with a topic today,
Yeah.
which is awesome. Sometimes we're like, hey, here's something we want to talk about. We try to force someone into talking about that, you know?
It's
But,
great too when you've got experience or like, it's firsthand to talk about it.
Uh-huh. So what are we talking about today? Tell us what we're talking about.
Just like my health journey and getting stronger as a person and growing in my faith and stuff. Yeah.
Awesome.
What is what's your health journey about specifically? What's
Dig
stuff
in.
you've been
Let
dealing
us
with?
know some stuff.
Well, in grade 9, I was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. Yep. So that's fun.
What's that like?
Just like pain.
Constantly?
Yeah, and like just having to miss out on a lot of activities. Like I feel like a lot of the time, not the pain was the hardest part, just having to like miss out on stuff and just feeling like gross. Yeah.
Yeah. So what sort of things have you had to just like sports activities like school?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. And school was hard sometimes, like having to sit in class was getting kind of painful at times. Like in grade 10, because of COVID, there was the quarter system. So our classes were like 2.5 hours long.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was crazy. So that kind of sucked. But
So if you have to like sit down for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
Like this. Oh,
no, it's getting better. It's
It
getting
is.
better. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you were diagnosed with it in grade 9, or is that when
Yeah.
the pain started?
A bit of both. Yeah. I got diagnosed in grade 9. It kind of started, I would say, near the end of grade 8. And then in grade 9, during Christmas break, my one knee just started swelling up for no reason.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So then we went in and then questions and stuff. And then got appointment in Calgary at the Children's Hospital and then got diagnosed a few times later. Yeah.
Is there anything they can do for that? Like,
Yeah,
how does
yeah.
that look
There's
for your life?
lots of medications, which is fun.
yay.
Yeah. Yep. Drugs.
I think it sounds sarcastic. A little bit.
Yep.
So yeah, like I guess that's related to your faith then too, because like it's been challenging to be like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
like God, if you love me and you care for me, why am I
Yeah.
going through this?
Yeah. Yeah.
What has that been like? What were you experiencing? What were you feeling when you got diagnosed?
Yeah, it was just like so much to kind of take in at once because you're a student, you're just a kid, you're like, what do I do with this information sort of stuff? But yeah, just taking time to process it and trusting in God. Like, yeah, at times I'd be like, why? But in the long run, I would say I'm thankful for it. Yeah.
Yeah. What what sort of things like specifically were you experiencing then? Like how did that affect your faith? Like, did you want to stop coming to church? Like, was it those sort of things where it's like the enemy's trying to use it to challenge you and to attack you with that?
No, I think during it, I feel like it stayed the same, my faith. You know, I'm so thankful I got raised in a Christian home and stuff. So I just always tried to think positive and think about how it would benefit in the long run. And it has, yeah.
Shout out to Mark and Tracy. Well done.
Yep.
I remember there was a part in your journey where you stopped by the prayer room and we had a chance to pray over you. Was there, I don't know, like in the past in my own life when I've gone through like, I don't know, medical stuff or whatever, I've kind of hoped for miraculous healing. And one time I got it.
Oh, that's
but,
awesome.
you know, more often than not, right? We're praying and then and sometimes we don't. Like, were you in a place where you were kind of hoping for miraculous healing? Like, where has that been for you?
Yeah, it's always kind of been like just going with the flow, you know, like it almost becomes to be so much of a part of you. You just can't picture it.
Did you get it?
Yes,
Let's
Logan.
Hold on, Logan.
He's eating me and I just saw him.
Logan killed. Sorry, Tia. I don't mean to.
Sorry that
No,
you're a
you're
human
good, you're good.
target, though.
But yeah, we killed the mosquito. Okay, it's taken care of. Sorry.
Oh yeah. So yeah, like it almost just becomes like so much of a part of you. You just can't picture your life just being miraculously changed. But yeah, that's what I'd say.
It kind of like becomes part of your identity and like
yeah,
who you are.
Yeah. It's really weird.
How did you work through that then? Like for someone who might be, you know, like they're so caught up in like, okay, I guess this is just who I am now. Because I feel like there are people, you know, they're going through something difficult, and yeah, I can't imagine having to deal with that sort of pain when, like in high school, like when you're supposed to be just living life and like having fun, you know, like people who just want to like they're going through something tough, but they almost just choose to just let that be what identifies them and what they're struggling with is like this is just how it is and what it is for me. How did you not let that become who, or I guess it, you know, even probably did at some points, but how did you work through that?
I would say just like focusing on what you do have. Like I have an amazing group of friends and I'm so thankful for them. So just like, you know, when you're with your friends or when you're at youth, just try and make the most of those moments. And yeah, just really try to focus on the long run and that it will get better.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
How did you remind yourself to do that? Because like I think that's
That doesn't come natural for everybody.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's some people it's not a habit.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I would say there's always those days where you just like can't get into that mindset. But when you can, just do your best to do that. Yeah. Just find joy in the little things and get your friends to help you and stuff. Talk to your parents. Talk to Jesus.
Yeah. So were your parents super supportive of you too? Like,
yeah.
And I think that's probably important too, like being willing to talk to them about it. You know, like just not hiding it and just putting on a mask.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd always ask me like how my day was pain wise and stuff. Yeah. So
How has that been? Do you have a lot of pain all the time? Is it constant? Is it?
Yeah, so I would say the worst was probably grade 10. And there's still the bad days, you know, or bad weeks. I would say like the winter times are harder. But honestly, I think this past year it's gotten a lot better, which I'm so thankful for. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think what was I going to say? I forget now. Yeah.
If you, I don't know, like I'm sure all of us kind of feel like we walk through things alone. Like if there's somebody, I don't know, listening to this who's going through their own pain journey, like do you have it, like what advice would you give to them? What would you say to them from what you've experienced?
I would say you're not alone at all. Like honestly, like one of the things at the hospital, there was like, what would you call it? I don't know. There was just this group and then I went on a Zoom and there's like multiple kids like my age that were like even worse. So like you're not alone and yeah, it could always be worse and stuff.
Yeah, and I think too, like sometimes people hear that and think, oh, you're just like trying to make what I'm going through seem not that significant.
Yeah.
Like in saying that you're not alone, we're not trying to say that like, oh, suck it up. There's a lot of people to deal with it. It's like, no, there's a lot of people that deal with this who can be supportive of what you're going through and what you're dealing with and can relate, you know, like that's that's super helpful to be able to relate with people.
Yeah, I feel like in the moment I did still feel alone, but
Right.
now looking back, I was like, I really wasn't alone. Like, yeah, your brain just playing tricks on you and stuff.
That's
Yeah.
one of the lies of the devil.
Yeah.
Always to get
Uh-huh.
us feeling like we're the only one, or we're isolated in what we're going through.
Well, it's so many things, right? Even like with your like faith as a whole, like you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, like there's not many people that believe what you believe, so you should just like
Give
keep your mouth
up.
shut
Yeah.
and give up, and yeah,
Yeah, right. But don't give up.
no,
No,
never,
no.
don't give up.
Don't keep your mouth
You're
shut.
not alone.
No. Do you have any other thoughts for us? This is your story. What do you
Yeah.
want to tell us?
I don't know. I'd say, yeah, just do your best to stay positive. Reach out for help if you need help. Find that good group of friends and people. Come to youth. Come to church.
Yes.
Find that community.
I
Yeah.
think friends too is such an important thing. Like
Totally.
there's a lot of people that, I mean, you got a solid group of friends. Like I was just saying before, like I'm sad you guys are graduating. You should come back as leaders. But like having a good group of friends that are like encouraging and supportive, and
Yeah.
like not everyone has that.
Okay, that's
And-
actually this makes me
Yeah.
think of a
Yeah.
question. So how did your friends support you and help you to feel encouraged? So like if, I don't know, let's say like your friend was going through something, like what would you say to them? What would be helpful to do or not do?
I would
or-
just try to always check in on them, you know, and if they say they're okay, like triple, double check, you know, because
Like,
sometimes
are you
that's not the
actually okay?
case.
But why are we liars?
Yeah.
They're like, are you
Yeah,
okay?
I
I'm
know,
fine.
right?
We're like, oh no.
This
Yeah,
is-
like at the cabin
Yeah.
when we were all dying
Yes,
silently.
yes, and no one said anything.
Literally, yeah.
I think that's something I kind of struggled with too when I was in youth. Like I was not very open with my friend. Like we were close, like my friends. If you're watching, hi. But like, I feel like, I mean, I'm not like saying them personally, but like even myself, like I would like maybe be dealing with something, but I didn't always want to get like super personal or vulnerable. And I don't like, maybe was that because I was a guy or because like, you know,
Yeah,
like
why
it's-
is it like that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't, but I think it's like something that I think it depends on the culture too. Like, right.
Yeah.
Like we're always joking around a lot too. Right. Like, so I'm not trying to blame anyone. Like it wasn't my friend's faults that I didn't open up about anything, but like, I think it's important to be able to open up with your friends about stuff.
Yep.
And you might sometimes get some bad advice. Like, I think, like whatever, like advice or support you get, like you still need to maybe filter that through, Holy Spirit and stuff. And, your parents like, hey, my friend said this, like, what do you get? Like, what do you think of that? Like, but I don't know. I don't know why. Like, I think like, I was just like always, we're always in a jokey, happy mood all the time. So it's like, you don't want to be the downer in the
Right.
conversation.
Yeah.
Or you're afraid of like, like if you're going through something, you don't want to get like judged about what you're going through or anything
Standing
like
out
that.
for the wrong reasons. Or
Yeah, something like that. But it's just, it's far more valuable to be open with your friends.
Yeah.
And
And like you don't have to be open like necessarily to all of them. I would just say
Yeah.
like find some like really good solid like best friends.
well, and that's the thing, right? Like finding people that you can actually trust. And
Yeah.
I've seen people make this mistake where they find a friend and they openly have trust issues. And so then they like don't share anything with this person. And then like after knowing them for like 6 months, they're like, oh, this person's solid. They haven't left yet. I'm going to trust you with everything in my life. And then it's like, oh, no, like that's like you need to find people that are trustworthy. And like that takes time to build trust. Like, yeah. And like find solid friends that you can trust, right? Like I think people are friends with people they shouldn't be friends with that are a bad influence on their life. And like, how blessed you and Logan and everyone in your friend group are to have these people that are solid that you can trust and yeah.
Yeah.
And vulnerability is so cool, right? It's like
Yeah.
we can all be in a room not talking about what's really going on in our lives, but as soon as someone's willing to be
Yeah.
brave enough to be vulnerable, sometimes that just opens it for everybody else to be like, oh, you're like, this is what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that first domino sometimes that has to
Yeah,
be knocked
yeah.
over.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we talked a bit about that with Denver, even like with building community. Like you just have to be vulnerable.
Yeah. I'd have to say siblings are pretty great too.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a good one.
Yes. Cambry's amazing.
Shout out to Cambria.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
there's
she was
always
super
Jesus.
supportive through it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has she dealt with that too, or was it just you?
No, yeah. Well, actually, I also got diagnosed with Hashimoto's, which is hypothyroidism. So it's just
Okay.
like messes up with some of your hormones. And
Yeah.
she actually got diagnosed with that too. But that doesn't really cause any problems much at all. No. Yeah. Yeah.
And you said, and Jesus.
Yes.
Yes.
And Jesus. You
Yes.
can always talk to Jesus.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's super important. What sort of things do you do to like make sure you've got that solid foundation in your faith? Like what were some things that that you were doing and still do, like
Honestly, youth group,
yeah.
those YXH events.
Yeah.
It's fun. Hey?
Yeah.
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 They're awesome. They
Yeah.
push you out of your comfort zone.
Mm.
And then once you're out of that comfort zone,
Yeah.
it's like easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just getting there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Not saying it's not easy still,
Yeah.
Oh, right.
but like it's a little easier.
And it sounds like you had like such a strong foundation, like between like you already had a really strong faith in God and like going to youth group and the support from your family and what they've shown you. So then when this turbulent situation came around, it didn't really shake you as much as it could
No.
have, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something to that.
That's why building a firm foundation is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any other thoughts for us?
I don't know. Like, just because you're shy or introverted doesn't mean you can't make friends and like do things. I would say, yeah, you can
Would you
do
say
it.
you're an introvert?
I would say so. Yeah, yeah. With the right people, I
You
can
seem
be.
so talkative though. I've been trying to talk this whole time and you keep interrupting.
Yeah, with the right
Yeah.
people, I can get pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But it takes a while to get
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Do you surround yourself mostly with other people who are introverted, or do extroverts find you? Because extroverts always find me. I
You're
tend
an
to be more
introvert.
introverted.
I
Yeah.
would say, I don't know, like Ruben. I feel like he like kept pushing and pushing for us to come to like YXH and stuff.
Aw.
So
Is Ruben an extrovert?
oh
Did you get that vibe from him? I don't know.
no. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He seems kind of social, I guess,
Yeah.
Sometimes come
mix,
to our events.
yeah.
Not kidding. I'm kidding, Ruben. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'd say a mix probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Got some solid friends.
Yeah.
You should be very thankful for them.
I really am.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're great.
You brought one here with you today.
Yep.
Yes.
I did.
You saved us from certain death.
Yes, you did.
Saved us from the mosquito.
Thank you.
Well,
Should we take him in?
yeah.
Sure.
If you have more thoughts, you tell us your thoughts.
I can't think of any at the moment.
Okay. You can always
Yeah.
take back in.
Okay. We'll be right back. We're going to bring Logan Mellish on.
So Logan,
Hi.
hi. What do you want to talk about today?
Don't know.
Oh,
I mean, I do know, but
It's okay. We're not gonna judge you or anything.
I'm actually excited about your topic
yeah.
because this is so relevant to so many of us.
It is actually.
Yes. And I'm curious to get your take on it because I will tell you this has been a struggle in my life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So talk to us, Logan.
Yeah. What has been your medical journey?
So my medical journey has been acne, but it's been like, I feel like a little worse than most people.
Yeah.
So,
Hold on. Sorry, I'm just going to move your mic a little bit. There you go.
Okay.
It should be better now.
okay. So it all happened in around grade 8, grade 9, kind of when COVID started,
Mm-hmm.
where it was just like normal because teenage,
Yeah.
where you get like acne, but mine felt almost worse than most people
Yeah.
because I just had these like giant like white bulges on like all like everywhere and just filled with like massive amount of pus.
Yeah.
And then kind of going towards around grade 10ish, it's gotten a little better towards the face, but then it kind of almost transferred over to like the whole like area of my back, and kind of you can see kind of going down my arms as well.
So that makes like everyday things like a lot more difficult then.
Yeah.
It's just so annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I had my first pimple when I was like 10. I was in grade 5. And my mom was like, is that a blackhead? And I was so excited. Like, this is what's ridiculous, right? Because I was so excited.
Why were you excited?
Well, because I was like, when you're in elementary, you want to be a teenager.
Oh, that's true.
And so like in my
make you look
mind,
cool.
like in my mind, I was so convinced.
You're like,
I
oh,
was
this is a
like,
good thing.
yeah, teenagers get this. I'm like, oh, I'm almost a teenager. This is amazing. I thought it was so great. And that was the worst start of a journey ever. Because goodness. Like even last year I was online. I'm like, you guys, I was like, I'm looking for, don't ask online for skincare help.
Oh my gosh.
There's so many people who want your money. It's absurd. There's my wisdom for you, but it is.
I think I
it's
asked
an
a
annoying
question
journey.
about it one time. Like I asked about like shampoos one time on Reddit because there was like I was like actually like it was like any shampoo I'd try would cause dandruff.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Huh.
But yeah, like acne can like if it gets bad, it can I'm sure maybe did you like struggle with like self-esteem and stuff?
I did,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. Like how did you work through that then?
Well, I kind of just there wasn't really much I could do.
Yeah.
Right now I'm still going through like I still have some treatments like towards my face. Like I go into this place called Dr. Brooks down towards by the fire station.
Okay.
Where I just think it just only like hour appointment. And
What does he do?
so depending what it is, I usually do like, there's a treatment called like a laser.
Okay, yeah.
So we kind of have like a laser go across your back or across the face.
It actually works, eh?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I tried that too.
Just get rid of scarring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it actually worked.
Wow.
And then there's another one which is like a hydrofacial, which kind of they use like a suction kind to just like run over like any just to like suck out all of them.
I've seen
right.
those. Yeah.
Like
So then
suck it-
without like adding
yeah.
grease or
like
yeah.
suck it out and then kind of like add water just to like like neutralize it kind of.
Uh-huh.
Give it like nutrients.
The facial guy that I went to discovered my biggest problem was that I actually had dry skin that was so dry it was producing oil or something backwards
Like
that
too
made no
much or
sense.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then by using acne treatments, it was drying out my face and making it worse.
Huh.
So
Right.
we had to just like cover me in aloe all the time, always like over moisturizing, which is great because I think now people think I look younger than I am. So, I mean, there's that perk to acne, really. You're caring for your skin earlier
Yeah.
than most people and you'll look young forever.
Yes. So yeah, what were some of the things like? Did that challenge your faith too then, or?
A little bit kind of made me like have like feelings about like what others would think
Right.
about like what
Comparison.
like how I looked like in the mirror almost. I'm
Right.
like, what would people think of me? Like just having this right now.
It's funny that we see our own faces so often that we criticize ourselves all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I can't tell you, like I felt horrible acne and I would mention it to people and they would notice it for the first time.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, you came in and said this is what you're talking about today. I had never noticed it. Honestly,
Yeah.
never. So
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's one of those things where
Yeah.
we're so aware of it, and we think other people are as aware of it as we are, but I don't know that they are.
And it's a lot of like that internal struggle, right? Like I would honestly like it's never noticed like, oh, like Logan has a ton of acne, like, but like that's hard to deal with, like, right? Like I think we all have that. Like anytime I do a lot of video stuff here at the church, I mean including this, but like I just did a video with someone, they're like, oh, did you like notice like I make this weird expression? I'm like, oh no, like, but we all have that, right? Where we're like, oh, this, like, we all know our own flaws, and we all like, we think we see our own flaws, but it's like, to everyone else, it's like, oh, like that's, I think we see each other like who you are as a person more than who you are as like your looks and
On
how
the
attractive
outside.
someone is.
Oh,
right?
and you're
Like,
great.
Yeah.
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 And you're a great person. Like,
Yeah.
so like, I think people, think we see the face in the mirror more than we see the soul in that person.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so it's good to
There's
remember
a
that.
lot of pressure out there.
Oh, yeah.
So like I was thinking, I was like, for girls, sometimes it seems easier because we can slather on like we can just like smother ourselves with makeup
Yeah.
or whatever, right? Like sometimes
What
that
you
helps,
wonder,
sometimes
like,
that's
does
worse.
that make it worse, though?
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
it
Oh,
can't
for
be
sure.
great to
No,
do
you know,
all
and
that
I think
sometimes.
a lot of the times we just think girls are the ones who struggle with like how they look or whatever. We think like boys have it so easy, but actually you don't.
No.
I like, there's one of my favorite things. I used to teach about this actually at youth group. I haven't talked about this in many, many years. Have you ever seen what like Batman looked like? The original Batman?
I have, yeah.
Oh, Michael Keaton.
So he's just like this scrawny, skinny guy,
Yeah.
right? But everyone was like, that's my hero and that's amazing. And he's out there fighting crime, right? And now like the images of Batman are like, I'm
Ben
like, I don't even know
Affleck.
how you produce that level of muscle. I'm like, it's not right.
Well, there was one guy who was one of the actors. He was in The Eternals, like as a Marvel movie, and like so, like you're in a superhero movie, you've got to get like shredded.
Yeah.
And he opened up about it online. He's like, "This is so ridiculous."
Yes.
He was like, "You will never be able to accomplish this, so don't compare yourself to like."
And yet we put these people as
Yeah.
our heroes and we
Yeah.
think I need to look like that, right?
He's
Like
"I
that's
had
what
to
you see
spend
online or in
6
magazines or whatever.
months. I had like personal trainers that were getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, dietitians."
It's just drinking raw
like,
eggs and whey protein.
Honestly, like he's got this team from Marvel getting him in shape. He's like, I could only do this because I was in one of their movies.
Yeah.
It's like it's not attainable.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like no one can just live like this. Like I did it because I had to be in this movie.
Yep.
And it's like it's just not. But we compare ourselves to that. It's like,
Yeah.
oh man, like look at how in shape and healthy they
yeah.
are, like and not to be like an excuse that you should just never not be healthy at all, but like
Oh yeah, but
you
we
know.
think we have to look a certain way,
Oh, yeah.
like to be accepted, or
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we all want to fit in. And
Yeah.
I had super crooked teeth when I was in like junior high and high school. Well, I mean, all my life up
Yeah.
until I fixed them is the better answer. I had like too many teeth or something for the size of my jaw, so I had to pull a couple out and everything got kind of sorted. But for a lot of years, like I mean, throw acne and really crooked teeth in there, and then like the scrawny junior high girl, like sometimes did something with my hair. I don't know, right? Like, but like we try to fit in. Like it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard. It's a real struggle.
Do you feel like I feel like high school too, like maybe I'm wrong here and I want to hear what you think, but like high school, like you're like, it's hard to not care what people think of you. And like, it's hard to not care and to like, it's just that culture that's like, there's a certain standard that you have to try and reach to
Yeah.
be like considered like, oh, good looking or attractive or worth dating or whatever like that. So like, is that a part of it too? Like, was that a bit of a struggle with like dealing with acne and,
Yeah, it was.
like what were some of the things you had to deal with?
Well, just mostly about like, cause in kind of during COVID, I kind of got like separated between like friends from like older schools and just other
You're
schools.
isolated from,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then coming back to grade 10, I kind of felt like I wasn't able to like come back to them because I know I've changed so much. And that was when like the acne was starting to kick in like more. So
And no
then-
one's seen you for, several months because you're
Yeah.
just on Zoom. So you're like, oh, like that was probably part of it too.
Yeah.
Right? So how did you work through that?
Well, I knew that it was going to take a while to get to like a point where I don't have it anymore. I know it's going to be still like probably a couple more years until
Yeah.
I finally gotten out of it. So I've just tried to stay true to who I am and just not care about the outside, kind of just care more about the inside and just let out my personality more.
Yeah.
Just leave the outside
Yeah.
just to itself, just on its own.
I think you're a pretty cool guy, Logan.
Thank you.
And your looks are not connected to that. But yeah, I think like that, absolutely right. It's just because you want to surround yourself with people who appreciate you for you, like no matter what your face might look like or whatever, right? Like you don't want to have people.
Well, and it's outside our control.
Exactly. Right. Like it's not like you chose to have acne or whatever, or have crooked teeth or it just happens. Right. So, but yeah, I think like that comparison, like there was this guy, this is kind of related, but not really. Who is like always like he's like a pastor, and he would like always like on his social media just like make jokes and like all these funny goofy videos all the time, and like he's like making a fool of himself in public, but they're hilarious. And like I remember one time, I wish I could do stuff like that. And like I think God was even like, well, why can't you? And I'm like, well, I kind of want to make a fool of myself. He's like, well, do you want, like, it sounds like you want to do this. Like, you want to be a goof and, like, make people laugh. I'm like, I do. He's like, so what's stopping you? I'm like, well, I don't want to be goofy in public. It's like, well, like, and so I would just be so concerned with what people thought of me that I was actually, like, not, and I mean, like, I'm not that I'm, like, not even doing that now, but, like, it's, you know, I was letting the idea of doing something that I wanted to do, which is like, you know, just like make people like, that's a fun thing. Like it's an innocent fun thing. Like, but I was letting the idea of how people would judge me or think of me stop me from doing what I wanted to do. And like, you can't let that happen with like anything in your life. Cause like, what if God calls you to do something and you're like, well, I don't know. What would people think? You know, like, and sometimes it's little things that you're like, oh, it's no big deal. But how can God trust you with the big things if he can't trust you to follow through when he asks you to do something that seems little and seems insignificant, but it's a big deal, you know? Yeah. But yeah, comparison is it's a dangerous thing.
The thief of joy.
Yes, the thief of joy.
It's a good statement. It is true.
Yes. Apparently that was Theodore Roosevelt, but there's not.
I mean, who really knows?
100% confirmation if that was him or not.
Michael Scott.
Michael Scott. Okay. Theodore Roosevelt. Michael Scott.
Do you have any other thoughts for us? What comes to your mind? Anything you wanted to share that you didn't get to share?
What would you, anyone that's dealing with looks and appearances, how would you like to encourage people who are maybe struggling with that?
Well, just kind of just tell them I know that Ethan's going through this. He's just starting out right now, just going through this right now.
Ethan.
And I try to encourage it because I know he doesn't really care about it much because it's not as bad as I had it. Yeah. But I still try to encourage him, just like, it's okay. Just remember that you're not alone. And then focus more on the inside than on the outside, because that's how you're going to get to know, like, more people, right? And how you're gonna have more opportunities.
That's fantastic. You're setting a good example. Yeah. Excellent brothering.
Yes. Yeah, it's good to have that support.
Yeah, because I think our influence is powerful. Like, because you could do the opposite, right? Like, you could just openly despair all the time and talk about, like, I don't know. I think it's pretty easy to be like, I'm so hideous or whatever, right? Yeah. Because then when the people around us struggle with the same things, like, they see that example and think, okay, this is
like, that's how I should
how people see me. This is how I react. This is how, but you're setting a really good example. Well done.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Do you have an embarrassing story?
Oh, yeah. We like to share embarrassing stories on our podcast.
Because we heard Tia has an embarrassing story, and, you know, if you have one, we'd like to hear them both.
Yeah. I have to take some time to brainstorm. Might have to do another swap out.
All right. We're going to do another swap out.
Tia's going to come share an embarrassing story with us. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hi.
You have an embarrassing story for us?
I do.
Make sure you got that mic nice and close. Yeah.
Is this your story or about someone else?
No, it's mine.
So what happened?
So, you know, Walmart, right?
Yeah.
Self-checkout. I find
you had an embarrassing story at Walmart, so this is
Did I?
No, it was Mark. It was Mark's.
Oh,
it was
Mark's. Listen.
Yes, of course. Yeah, it was Walmart and self-checkout. And I find it fun, you know, to just put everything neatly in the bag, you know, like Tetris, you know? Yeah. So I was just doing that. And then I was like, oh, because I was on autopilot mode, right?
Right.
I was like, I have not been scanning anything.
Oh my gosh.
And then I look up, and then the worker's just like watching me. I was like, "Oh no, Mom! I wasn't scanning anything." Wow. So then I had to really put everything back in the car and like scan it and put it back. Yeah.
You're just so excited about this game of Tetris you're playing.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So you almost shoplifted at Walmart.
Yeah, sort of.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a close call.
Sort of, definitely, yeah,
So be
yeah.
careful going on autopilot mode.
Wow.
Yes.
I do that when I'm driving.
Yeah.
Like I'll just start driving somewhere.
And I'm like, how did I end up here?
Well, I mean, like I'm aware, like it's not like I blacked out or anything, but like, like I'll be like, oh, like today, like like after work, I'll be like, oh, I have to go stop by the store here to get something. But like, I leave the parking lot and I'm like, okay, time for home, and I like autopilot drive home, and I get home and I'm like, oh, like,
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, you had somewhere else to go. Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah. You brought up Tetris though. I thought this was funny. You know what Tetris is?
Yeah, I don't really play it, but like
you
I
know
know
it's
what
like-
it
played
is.
it? I
know
find
it's-
it soothing
It's the
until
game-
it's stressful. There's always that moment where you're starting to fail.
We brought it up
yeah.
the other day.
Yeah.
Because there's like a new movie about it.
Yeah.
On Apple TV Plus. Not sponsored.
We haven't seen it, so we can't speak for it.
Yeah, I can't say whether it's good or not. But there
Preview
was,
looked fun.
So I guess my sister, well, I think she watched it. She was talking about it, and she said it was interesting. And my mom's like, "What's Tetris?"
What?
Yeah, that's so bizarre, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
She should know that.
it was like,
This is your era,
yeah,
Mom.
that's her era, the 80s.
Literally. Yeah.
Like, how do you not
Yeah.
know what Tetris is?
Yes.
That's
Like
crazy.
it's a famous, like it's still, like I
Super
downloaded
famous.
it on my phone because I'm like, it's still around. Like
yeah.
it's been around since its inception.
Mm-hmm.
So like we were just very shocked that she didn't know
That's
Tetris. I'm like,
crazy.
Mom,
Maybe-
like when I worked at Costco, I talked about playing Tetris with the groceries and putting them in boxes, and like, cause they don't use,
Oh, yeah.
they use
Oh, yeah,
boxes.
yeah.
for
Just like
the
that's
bags
some
stuff.
like young hooligan word that no one uses
It's
anymore.
like, oh yeah, Tetris. Yeah, some
Yeah.
slang term.
Riz.
Yeah.
Comment if you've never played Tetris
Yeah.
or heard of it before. Maybe this is a new problem that
It's
we
like
need to
one
solve.
of those like, it's kind of unfortunate because now it's like one of those pay to win games. Like the version of the app is like, oh, you got 2 coins from this round.
Oh,
I'm like,
that
cool.
sucks.
Like, would you like to watch an ad or play or pay for your like if you want to redo? Like if you lose, you're like, well,
Yeah.
watch an ad or.
Just exit out of the app and open it again.
And it's like, you know what? Like I might pay for the ad free version if it's like $2, and it's like, yeah, $2 for an ad free for a month. I'm not paying $2 a month for ad free
It's
Tetris.
terrible.
Well, life hack. If it's
Yeah.
one that doesn't need Wi-Fi, just
It does need
Oh.
Wi-Fi. I remember that.
Oh,
I remember using that
that's
hack
good.
growing up.
Yeah, that's good.
Like Flappy Bird.
Yeah.
There were so many apps on Flappy Bird or ads, and so I just like went into the settings and like disconnected it from the internet.
yeah,
Do you know what Flappy Bird is?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just never know these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
Logan, Tia.
Do you have an
thanks.
embarrassing story?
You
He's
do?
got
Oh.
one.
do.
We're ready for it.
Okay,
Bet.
we're gonna switch out again for Logan. Logan,
Hi.
Welcome
you
back.
thought of an embarrassing story.
I have.
What happened?
What is it?
What is it? I'm so excited for this.
So, it was on a Calgary trip about 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
Ooh, it's recent.
It was very
Oof.
recent,
Oof.
yeah.
Like
We
with
were-
your family or your friends,
Family.
school, family.
We were out with family, and we were out getting gelato, and me and Ethan were walking by all the types of ice cream, just looking at them. And then this woman, she's like facing the counter, and the cashier comes. She's like, "Would you like to test this one?" And she says it kind of like a weird voice. She's like, "Of course." And then
Yeah.
Ethan kind of mocks her and says it like, "Of course," thinking of something from like a TV show.
Oh.
And then I start mocking him,
Yeah.
and then I was kind of laughing after that. And then she comes walking past me, and she's like, "You shouldn't be mocking your elders." And I'm like, and then I pause.
Because you don't like not making the connection.
No.
Yet. Yeah.
And I'm like, "Wait, was I mocking her?" Because at that point after, I thought I was mocking Ethan, and my brain clicked, thinking I was just mocking her and not
Oh.
Ethan. Ethan was completely out of the picture.
Yeah.
And I thought I was just mocking her.
Oh, no.
And then
Oh no.
I started just like blushing and feeling so bad. And I was just like, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
I thought I was mocking Ethan,
Yeah.
mocking someone else.
Yeah.
And then,
And he's just like quoting a show or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then afterward, Mom's just like, "Ethan, were you mocking her afterward?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then I'm like, "Wait, so I was mocking Ethan,
Oh,
not her."
Ethan, you set him up.
Oh,
That's
no.
embarrassing. Well, sorry to that lady.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to mock you.
We
wasn't,
appreciate
yeah.
accents around here.
I have a mini embarrassing story.
Ooh,
It's
good.
mini though. Like it's
Okay.
Tia's so excited. Oh my gosh. It's very short. I think we were like so like at one point when we were growing up, like our thing on Saturdays, so it was like my sister and my dad and I would go to the library. And so we're leaving the library one Saturday. And I'm just like not paying attention, walking up to the car to get in, and I try the door handle and it's locked. I'm like, oh my gosh, try it again. And like, and I look down and knock on the window, and it's the wrong vehicle.
Oh no!
And the person's looking at me like
Like locking their doors.
afraid. Yeah, like they're like, and I'm like, oh, sorry, wrong vehicle. And my dad and sister at the other car, like just one stall
Laughing so
over,
hard.
laughing. And I'm like, oh my God. Because I tried the door for a while.
yeah.
Like, I'm not looking, like, like, oh, check it. No, still not up. And like, check it again. Oh my gosh. Like, knock on the window, annoyed. Like, can you please open?
Now you're like a robber. Yeah.
Honestly, like, I think the person was a little bit scared.
I'd be scared. You
Yeah.
look pretty scary.
Yeah. 16-year-old Levi threatening you.
Oh no!
Yeah. So there's the mini embarrassing story for the day.
It's too bad you all have such embarrassing stories.
Yeah. You had one too. You yelled mommy
That's true. Yeah.
in public.
I'll tell you a quick one then too. Everyone's
Okay.
sharing embarrassing stories.
Okay.
I was at youth group and I was like probably your age, and we had a 30-hour famine, and so we had this like group come in or whatever, and they were running fun activities for us. Fun activities. I say loosely. It was not that great.
That wasn't fun.
In the evening, and we're in the gym. We're here, and like I haven't eaten in a really long time. So like I'm genuinely really hungry.
Almost 30 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like Cara Lee's husband, Keith, we were like, we've been friends for a really long time. We both got pulled up for this like super fun game, and they gave us this like stupid clear tube, and they cracked an egg and put it in the middle. And then they said we had to like blow as hard as we could and try to get the egg in the other person's face. And I'm like, already don't want to do this. And like all my peers are watching. I'm like, I don't know. I just thought this is going to be the worst, right? Anyway, they had such a big tube that like both Keith and I, like you blow your air in there and then you need more. Like it's not like how is this supposed to
The
work?
size
Really?
of the yolk
Yeah.
is not the size of the tube.
Yeah, it's just like all of a sudden this tube just is filled with air, and now what? So then like, okay, so I take my mouth away to like to like try
Yeah.
again, and then Keith blew the egg down my throat. It was horrible. Everyone saw it. I'm like
so funny.
gagging because like again, you haven't eaten, and now
So you
there's
stop and you're
raw
like,
egg, and it like feels so gross. Like this isn't something you've intentionally done. Yeah,
You
it's
got
like
some
all down my throat.
protein at least.
So I was like gagging in the bathroom for a long time trying to recover. It was terrible.
Yeah,
what were they
that's-
thinking? It's terrible.
That's
Thanks,
hilarious,
Keith.
Thank you. Thank you for that great story.
There you go.
That's funny.
Yeah. So advice for us? Any final thoughts for
Final
us?
thoughts.
Anything you just doesn't even have to be related to the topic. Advice to people listening. Nothing.
Nothing really, no.
Okay.
Tia, you got advice or thoughts? One last tag in. Here we
Okay.
go.
Okay.
Tag it in.
You can just come quickly. You just talking to the mic. Let me just raise it up a little bit. Right there.
I would say if you're struggling with stuff, just come to youth, find that community, find those friends, talk to your family, listen to worship music. I feel like that's really helped, you know? Yeah. Go to YXH events.
And I mean,
Nice.
to get connected to a youth group, it doesn't even have to be Hillcrest.
No.
Right.
Like if you're find a church that, like, if your church has a youth group, go to that youth group. If it doesn't, find one that your friend goes to or something, or someone you know goes to a youth group.
It's
There's
really
lots of
not
youth
formal.
groups.
You can just show up.
You can just show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. You might have to sign a waiver form, but like that's as formal as it gets.
It's true.
Yeah.
Because we might shoot an egg down your throat.
We won't do
we
that.
don't want to get sued
We
for
won't
that.
do
No. Yeah, I don't do stuff like that because I
Yeah.
hate.
Yeah.
I won't make you do things I'm not willing to do. That's my rule.
Yeah. But we did blended last night, so
Yeah.
there are some exceptions.
It's pretty gross. Yeah.
Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Tia and Logan.
See you.
Bye.